I'd like to call the September Maumelle Civil Service Commission meeting to order. Do we have any public comments not related to an agenda item? Under old business, we do note that the August meeting was canceled the August regular meeting was canceled due to a lack of agenda items. At this time, I'll ask approval of the August 10 special called meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We also have the approval of the July Commission regular meeting minutes. And as I was looking at this in relation to setting deadlines for submission of the Fire Department Assessment Center and police promotability, I look back at the July minutes, and I think we have a typo here at the very bottom of that first page under new business.
Yes.
Promotional exams, let's see. Motion was made by Commissioner Ray Schrankert to conclude all promotional exams for uniform personnel by Friday, February 2nd. And I thought, we must have lost our minds. What were we thinking? That's a typo. That should be February 28th, I believe.
That's the exams, isn't it?
That is everything concluded, the way I understood that motion. So I think that's a typo because
Okay.
Friday is February 28th. Friday is not February 2nd.
I think it is. It's got to be just a typo.
Okay.
But kind of threw me there for a minute because I thought, what in the world? So with that change noted, unless somebody has something else, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes, the amended minutes.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries. All right. Under new business, the fire department is requesting entry-level testing for October 14th. Chief?
This is just our annual test that we give for new hires, entry-level firefighter positions. Even though we have a few names left from the special test that we gave, 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah.
4 or 5 months ago. But this is our annual test, and after speaking with Attorney Norris, he said we could just combine those as long as you guys are okay with that. I mean, but this is something that we get people that call us all the time wanting to know if we're still doing our annual testing in October, so that's what we're requesting.
Oh, and Chief, we had talked about that. I forgot that you had the additional test. I guess one of the concerns that we have that I didn't think about is if folks are taking two different tests, they're going to be graded based on a different test. So the score, apples aren't really apples there. And so if we're going to test in October, and y'all, do you know about how many folks are on that list, Chief?
Roughly 8 to 10.
And that list is good for a year. How we're going to handle a new list?
Because we've already got a list now through the next year, right?
And it is good for 1 year.
For 1 year.
And so do we want a second list? And I was talking with the mayor before this meeting. The rules kind of say it's once a year in October unless the list is, exhausted, then you could test again. It doesn't really address what happens if that new test is still active. I mean, this is something the commission needs to figure out really before we get a second list. How, if it's just going to be after that old list is exhausted, this one goes into effect. But in that case, you may be hiring people that are 10th on one list and not hiring the person who's first on the next list.
Was the test the same, or would the test be the same for both groups?
I think we're
Probably
just
not.
like PD. I think they've got 3 or 4
They
versions.
give
that
3 or
they-
4 versions. You don't know
So
that
you
you're
don't-
going to get the same
yeah.
test.
Now, I have talked to a few. I haven't talked to all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but I have talked to a few of them that tested in that special where we had exhausted the list, and they are planning on retesting in October. But that's not everybody. But
I'm thinking if we if we say no, then now we're short time. Because we only got a year, right?
Yeah, and I
But
don't
if
know
we
that.
say yes,
I
then
don't
how
know
do we
that y'all have to
combine?
authorize an October test date. And the reason I say that, it says the commission may authorize written examinations to be held once per year, and such written examinations may be held more often if deemed necessary by the commission. The Department of Human Resources is authorized to advertise and hold entry testing during the month of October of each year and more often if necessary. The Department of Human Resources is given the discretion to make adjustments on testing dates within the recommended time frame as necessary. So in your bylaws and rules and regulations, you have already authorized testing in October if the human resources, they're authorized to do it. So I'm not sure you have to approve a test date of October the 14th. The only reason I say that, it may give us a little more time to research some of this, whether this test is valid for a year. How do we either merge two lists together, or do we have to exhaust that list and then go to the next list that we tested in October for? I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Chief,
can
how many
verify.
openings do you have?
Currently, none.
Currently none.
How many
And
people
you-
on the old list?
And you've got 10 or 12 on the old list?
Like eight to 10, I think, are left on the list that we had from.
It would have been everybody that took the test that made higher than 70, unless they've notified us they've taken another
Right,
position,
right.
right?
Well, we hired 3 off.
We
of-
hired 3 off that list?
Yeah, we hired
Okay.
3 off of the list
Okay.
from the last test we did.
So if we don't approve this, then if we still got the list, does it go through next October? Or do
No,
we
it's
have-
only good,
Only a
It's
year.
only good
it's
for
only
a
good
year.
for a year.
So we would have to
Good
do
for
another,
a
We're gonna have to clean
It'd be
this up.
good until
before-
February.
right, we'd have to
The
clean it up
current-
at some
The
point.
current
12
list,
months.
No, but I mean, does it expire in this coming October?
No, well, it says that, what it says is all lists for appointments certified by the Civil Service Commission shall remain in force and effect for a period of 1 year from the date of certification.
okay, stop, if we can stop right there. When was the date of certification of the last test?
I want to say June. It was either May or June.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So
So we're looking at 4
Actually,
months
we could
down the
go
road,
until-
we're starting at
we could go to May or June of the coming year.
Right. But now we're back in the same situation.
we-
of do
Right.
we go back in October since
We,
the rules?
we
talk
need to
about it?
get back to October at.
The reason October was there is because there's usually a lot of people getting out of the academy that, and those are actually the folks we're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'd
Yeah.
make a motion that we give the mayor and the chief and the human resources people time to discuss this, but I certainly don't have any objection to them doing the testing in October, especially from what you read. They don't even have to ask us.
Well, according to the way I interpret it, yeah, that we could do a test every October without coming to the commission.
That's
And
what
that's
I'm,
fine
that's what
with
I'm
me.
understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a sort of a permanent authorization.
yeah.
And the city attorney and I, we just talked about it. I'm gonna blame it on him since he got to take a vacation. But
You got
he
two
was here
wide
last week,
shoulders.
but yeah, we hadn't talked about it. But so we were hashing this around before the meeting tonight and never came to a good conclusion. But we might could check with some other departments and see what they do when they have more than one list or something.
Okay.
Surely this happened to some other places, it's not just us. Well, basically, we have a motion to allow the mayor, HR, and the chief to,
Set a date for October if they so desire, without coming back to the commission, the way that
I don't
reads.
think they even have to have that from us.
They don't even.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They don't have to come back to us.
So why make the motion?
yeah, we
That's
don't.
what, exactly.
We don't need
The
a
motion's moot.
Table it.
Withdraw it, which you
Withdraw.
Okay, I'll withdraw the motion.
I guess my only question would be, I mean, obviously I have no issue with October testing, but how do you combine those two lists? I think that's what the real question is.
We would have to look at whatever the final combined score was to determine that. But I see what you're saying. I mean, if we do the October test, we could always get the same version of the test. I mean,
Could.
the version of the test is there so that we make it fair. But
That would probably be
like I say,
wise,
yeah,
I think.
Fair.
And then you wouldn't have to retest the people that took it.
that have already taken it, unless they want to try to better themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they
If
want
they
to,
want to do
sure,
that, yeah.
sure.
Or remain on the list longer.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the other
Right.
thing, is they can only be on the
Yeah,
list until
'cause
that
they would-
first
Or
test.
do we also want to raise the issue that they've already seen the test once, and therefore is it fair to the people now taking it for the first time?
Or do you want to reward consistency?
Trust me
and
when I tell
persistence?
you, and Chief Williams will probably agree with this, you do not remember
I won't
anything on
remember.
those tests after you come out of there. Because it's a lot of memorization, kind of like what the police department ran into. So, anyway, that's all I've got on
I
that.
think the only question is how you
How do you
combine the
combine,
list,
yeah.
but I think you can just, what you just said, merge them, and however the scores fall out, that's the way they fall.
Is this the first time they've ever,
I don't
Just
recall
together
this
in
ever
October?
happening, but
First time since I've been
yeah,
here.
since you've been here, yeah. know
I don't remember it, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, looks like you got to,
I think Little Rock,
Okay.
I think Little Rock,
Maybe.
if they're on the list, it goes from 1 year and you're either on it or off of it.
But if we don't hold,
They don't have two lists, no.
Right. but do we take, if somebody took it in June, do we push them out through October of next year, or only up to June? That's
No,
the
it-
question.
no.
They can only go to June.
They can only go to June.
They took it in
So,
June, yeah.
I guess
I think
if they don't want to, if they only want to go to June, if not, then they'll have to take that test again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. They take it again in
Yeah.
October, they've got till
Even if you
next
got,
October.
even if you have one list, some people are gonna drop off of it in
Right.
June.
Right.
No matter where they're at.
Right.
But yeah, if they want to, if they
Exactly.
want to be extended through October, they'll have to take the test
They'll
again.
need to take that test.
Yeah.
Everybody happy? Chief? Okay. Police Department is requesting entry-level testing for October as well.
We've got two people left on the list, possibly two, a maximum of two. Like I said, we've got one that would have to have a medical clearance to remain on the list. And traditionally, we will have at least a couple openings during the course of a year. We'll lose somebody along the line. So we're just asking for our traditional October testing to have a list in the event that we lose someone. Don't anticipate any openings, but
Do we even need to
Never do.
approve that, Mr. Mayor?
No,
Well, the way I read it, I don't think
No.
so. but-
no,
Carry on.
we don't need to do that.
Okay.
Okay, back to the fire department, requesting change in the date of the oral interview for battalion chief from February 12th, 2018 to February 26th, 2018. Chief?
Yes, sir. That, since I got here, that's always the way we've done it. I didn't catch it. And talking to Chief Williams today, he didn't catch it either, but we've always kind of separated those where we had, certain positions from fire and certain positions from police doing the first interview period, and then, and for some reason we combined them all on one night. So, we had some people that have plans, and we have some people that are in some classes during that first portion of February because that's the way it's always been, and then we changed it this year. So,
Well, we changed it because people got mad that they had to come 2 different nights.
Yeah.
Like a police sergeant and a police lieutenant had to come 2 different nights when they were interviewing for both. We had the same thing happen on the fire department. That's why I'm the one that made the change.
we don't have. You can't test for lieutenant and captain or battalion on the
And
fire
that may
department.
be true, but the last time when they were here, there were people that tested.
Yeah.
They interviewed for both while they were here that night. Now, maybe it was maybe it's fire lieutenant and fire captain, but they interviewed for 2 or something like that.
Wouldn't be from the fire side.
Okay, and then it was from the.
It was from the police side, I
We're from
remember
the
that.
There was
police.
several. We had to
Yeah.
re-interview,
We did.
Yeah, we
and they had to
did.
come back for a separate night or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, okay.
That was the reason why.
You can stay a long time.
Our
one
department,
night
you
or come
can't
twice.
interview for 2 jobs. You either interview for 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
You can only go up.
Because you got
One.
a step.
Yeah.
In the police department, you can.
Yes.
You can in the police department. If you qualify for, if you're a sergeant, you qualify for lieutenant, you can do both.
Well, I move
Or
that
if you're a,
change the oral battalion chief from
Yeah.
February 12th to February 26th.
We have a motion to change the date for oral interview for battalion chief from February 12th through February 26th, 2018. What is that, 26? Is that another Monday night?
That'll be a
Yeah, it's
Monday.
no- that's that other date that we had.
Yeah.
usually.
Okay.
I'd like to look just for a minute and see, who, on February 12th, are we going to do the fire lieutenant and the fire captain? And now we're
And the battalion chief, according to
going to
this.
add,
Well, that's what we're looking.
Well, that's
at.
what
Just
we're
don't-
looking at
we're
moving.
That's
going
what
to
we're
add
looking
the
at moving.
Move
battalion.
the battalion chiefs down with the police.
No, we're going to move it from the
Sergeant and
12th
lieutenant.
to the 26th. The fire battalion chief.
26th is on a Monday.
Right. So we've got the battalion chief, if we do this, the police sergeant, and the police lieutenant on the 26th.
Yep.
And then on the 12th, the fire lieutenant and the fire captain. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we've got,
I just want to be clear.
and you said you had some people with conflicts and classes or whatever they have to take,
Yep,
certifications, that sort of thing.
right.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to
Ray
approve.
made,
I made
Ray
a
made the
I'm
motion.
sorry,
Already
Ray.
made it.
Oh, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
When I was looking at this, setting deadlines for submission of Fire Department Assessment Center rankings and police promotability to HR, that's when I caught our typo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we did on the.
So I guess my question is, from an HR point of view, Mr. Mayor, if we are going to have our final orals on February 26th, and we have a corrected, or at least amended, pass motion to conclude it all by February 28th, is that enough time for HR? I'd rather get it right than be fast.
Yeah, I agree. It could be done, but something's wrong. If the 26th is a Monday, the 28th can't be a Friday.
No, it's a Wednesday.
So, I mean, I just now caught that, but
Yeah, yeah.
26th is
I'm
definitely
on
a Monday.
No, I think it's March 2nd. It's
Well,
not. It's not February
play that
28th. It's
video
March
back.
March
2nd.
2nd, here we've got a,
Yeah, because it's March 2nd is that
on a
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe that's March
No,
That
second.
would
think
be,
so.
that
Maybe
would,
it's March second,
March
February
2nd.
second.
I mean,
that would make more sense.
March 2nd is a Friday.
Yep.
I bet you it's March 2nd.
But that's the mistake.
Yeah.
March instead
That
of
would make
February.
sense.
You're right, February 20th is a Wednesday. All right,
well, and so that's the question, I guess. That gives
But still,
4 days, but, I mean, and it depends, and the problem is, it depends on how many people, and you're just everything else would already be done, other than the scoring from the Civil Service Commission. So you'd have to add that in, develop the ranking. So that could be done in 4 days, I think.
I would think so.
I would think so.
Yeah,
would
yeah,
think so.
so,
yeah.
and you don't really want to leave people hanging out for a long
No,
time.
we
either.
want to get
So,
it done
yeah,
as
yeah,
quick as
yeah.
we can, but accurately. as we
Right,
can.
right.
Speaking of HR, where is HR?
I was afraid to
Wouldn't
ask.
believe.
I didn't want to
I
ask.
already know.
He's on vacation in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my Lord. He's
It
probably
was-
stuck there for a
and
while,
he-
too.
I hired him knowing he was gonna take off a week in September. I didn't realize it was, of course, the Civil Service Commission, when we talked about it at the time. It's like, he's like, I'm gonna take this job, but I can only take it if you let me have a week off in September for a paid-for vacation. So he's not quit unless he gets blown away by a hurricane. I don't know.
Do we need to do something about the minutes?
Yeah, we need to go back, Mr. City Attorney, what do we need to do to go back and amend yet again?
Move to amend and then adopt the amended minutes.
I'll make a motion, we amend the July minutes to include, instead of February 2nd, be March 2nd for the promotional exams to conclude for uniformed personnel by Friday, March 2nd, 2018.
Okay, everybody understand the
Second.
motion? We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries. That is it. Do we have any additional comments or discussion? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Yeah, one of my
Are we still
partners-
recording?
I'm gonna take that test in October just to see how hard it is.
How do I redo this?